إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره. نعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء، واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم، ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله، وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، فإن كل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار، وإنما توعدون لآت وما أنتم بمعجزين. Inshallah, tonight we continue reading and proofreading from Kitab Mukhtasar Minhaj al-Qasidin, Methodology of the Seekers by Ibn Qudama al-Maqdisi rahmatullah alayh. This will be the fourth class in the book, and this will be Kitab al-Tahara, the book of purification and Salah.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillah. The book of purification and Salah. You should know that purification has 4 levels. The first level is the purification of the body from ritual impurity and from filth and dirt. The second is the purification of the limb from sins and acts of disobedience. The third is the purification of the heart from blameworthy characteristics and the despised and lowly attributes. And the fourth is purifying the internal state from everything other than wanting Allah. And this is the final goal. So whoever's insight is strengthened, look toward this goal. And whoever's insight is blind will not understand anything about purification except from the first level. So you will see him wasting most of his valuable time in exaggerating in regards to istinja and washing his clothes, thinking, due to being overcome by whispering and lack of knowledge, that this alone is what is sought in regards to purification. Yet, he's ignorant of the fact that those who preceded used to occupy their time with the purification of the heart, and they used to take things easy in regard to outward matters, like what has been reported from Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu, who said that he made wudu from a jug belonging to a Christian, and they hardly used to wash the oil from their hand, and would pray on the bare floor and walk barefooted and make do in cleaning the private parts with using stone. However, it has come to be that frivolity has come to be classified as cleanliness. So you see people taking up most of their time with beautifying their outward appearances, while their internal state is in ruin, filled with the wickedness of arrogance, self-conceit, ignorance, showing off, and hypocrisy. And if they were to see someone making do in cleaning the private part with using stone, or walking barefooted, or praying without anything covering the floor, or making wudu from the pots of an old woman, they would denounce that in the most severe manner, and they would call him dirty and avoid eating with him. So look at how they have made simplicity, which is part of Iman, to be classified as uncleanliness, and frivolity to be classed as cleanliness. And what should be denounced has become accepted, and what should be accepted is denounced. However, the one who intends with this type of purification, cleanliness, and does not waste water, nor believes that using a lot of water is fundamental in the religion, then this is not denounceable. Rather, this is a good deed. And whoever wishes to know the details of impurities and ritual impurity, let him return to the books of fiqh, for the subject of this book is that of good manners. And there is no problem in entering the public bath, for it is more effective in the removal of dirt. And a number of the companions of Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam entered one. However, it is obligatory upon the one entering to take precaution in keeping his aura covered from the gaze of other people or their touch. And it is befitting for the one entering the public bath to cause its heat to remind him of the heat of the hellfire. For truly, the thoughts of the believers do not cease to ponder upon things in this world and remember due to them the matters of the hereafter. As the prevailing matter for the believers is that of the hereafter, and every container exudes what it contains. Thus you witness that if a draper, a carpenter, a builder, and a tailor were enter a well-furnished house, you will see the draper looking at the bedding and wondering about its value, the tailor looking at textures of the clothing, the carpenter looking at the ceiling of the room, and the building looking at the wall. Such is the case with the believer. When he sees a patch of darkness, he remembers the darkness of the grave. If he hears a terrifying sound, he remembers the blowing of the trumpet on the day of Qiyamah. When he sees something pleasurable, he remembers the pleasures of paradise. And if he sees suffering, he remembers the agony of the hellfire. Next section on the excellence of Salah. As for Salah,
okay, if you make a mark there, so you don't have anything about it is dislike to enter the bathroom close to the time of Maghrib and between the two Isha, or because this is the time when the shayateen spread out.
No, we don't have that.
Neither you have the line say the second time is removing the filth, similar to trimming the mustache, removing the hair. So this is not there.
No.
All right. So if you make a mark.
Missing quote.
Yes.
And this is after we're talking about.
When you see remember hellfire.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Chapter.
Excellent. On the excellence of Salah.
Okay. So basically, in the last chapter, he's trying to divide the purification to 4 categories, and that the reaction of the Sahaba, they were taking it easy with this impurity and the way how they clean it. There was not so much on it like what we do nowadays. Give examples that Umar radiallahu anh, he make wudu from a vessel that belonged to a Jew woman, that the Sahaba used to wipe or clean their private parts with a stone. With a stone you could not, you understand, really clean it thoroughly, but they did the best from what is available. But they have more concern about the purification of the heart from jealousy and envy and things like this. So this he wants that the Muslims have to give more attention to purification of the heart and the soul, okay, equal to what they doing to when they wash the private parts and make wudu, if it's not more. This is the main focus about this issue. Okay.
As for Salah, then it is the pillar of the religion and finest act of worship. Many well-known traditions concerning the excellence of Salah have been narrated, and the best of manners related to it is khushu'. It has been related from khushu'.
Okay, can you put the word emulation or translation? You need translation to the term.
It has been related from Uthman ibn Affan radiyallahu anhu that the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "There is no person upon whom an obligatory salah comes and therefore perfects its wudu and its khushu' and its ruku', except that it is an expiation of whatever sin comes before it, as long as he did not commit a major sin." And this is the case for all time. Muslim. In another hadith, it is mentioned that the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Whoever performs 2 rak'ah of salah in which he does not think to himself about anything else, his prior sins will be forgiven for him. Agreed upon. And Ibn az-Zubayr radiyallahu anhu used to be upright like a rod out of khushu', and when he would prostrate, sparrows would land upon his back. Sparrow is a type of small bird.
Okay.
Would land upon his back, thinking it to be the base of a wall. And he performed salah within Hijr of Ismail one day, and the rock fell down, tearing his garment, and he did not even twitch. Maymun ibn Mahran said he did not see Muslim ibn Yasser turning in salah whatsoever, and the corner of the mosque collapsed while he was in the mosque performing salah, so that the people in the market were startled by its sound, yet he did not move. And the members of his household would be quiet if he entered the house, and when he would stand for salah, they would speak and laugh. Ali ibn al-Hasan radiyallahu anhu would become a yellowish color when he performed wudu, so he was asked, "What is this which occurs to when you make wudu?" So he said, "Do you not know in front of whom I am intending to stand? And you should know that salah has its pillars and obligatory aspects and acts which are sunnah, and its essence is the intention and sincerity and khushu' and the attendance of the heart. For the salah is made up of words of dhikr and intimate dialogue and outward action. The presence of the heart, the aim of making dhikr and dialogue are not attained as the words if they do not represent what is in the soul. It is similar to mere gibberish. Similarly, the aim of the outward action is not attained if the aim of standing is dutifulness and the aim of ruku' and sujood is humility and exaltation of the heart is not attentive, then the aim is not attained. For truly, when a deed departs from that which is intended, nothing remains except the outer appearance, which has no value to it. Allah says in Surah Al-Hajj, verse number 37, of which the meaning is, the meat of the sacrificial animals and their blood is not that which reaches Allah, but it is your piety which reaches Him. And the meaning is that it is the overwhelming state of the heart that leads to undertaking the prescribed obligation that reaches Allah. And thus, it is a must that the heart be attentive in salah. However, the lawgiver has overlooked incidental heedlessness as if the heart is attentive at the beginning of the salah. Its ruling is applied to the rest of it. And the qualities which complete the spirit of the salah are many. The first quality is the attendance of the heart, as we have mentioned, and the meaning of this is that the heart becomes free from dwelling on anything other than that which it is involved. The meaning of attaining this state is being resolute. For whenever you are resolute in something, your heart must, by necessity, be attentive. So there is no remedy for making it attentive except to turn to the salah resolutely. And resolution strengthened and weakening depending on the strength of one's belief in the hereafter and the belittlement of this world. So if you find that your heart is not attentive in salah, then know that this is because of a weakness of iman. So make an effort to strengthen it. The second quality is making the effort to understand the meaning of what is said during the salah. And this is something beyond the attentiveness of the heart, as it is possible that the heart is attentive to the letter of the words and not their meaning. So it is proper to turn the mind towards understanding by pushing away the thoughts which preoccupy it and cutting off their sources. For if the sources are not cut off, the thought will not turn away from them. The sources are neither external, these are those things which busy the hearing and the sight, or internal. These internal sources are more severe, like the one whose thoughts are scattered by matters of this world, so his concentration is not fixed on one thing. And with this, closing his eyes does not benefit as it does in the state of external distraction, as what is in the heart is enough to keep it busy on its own. So the remedy for the outward distraction is cutting off whatever busies the hearing and sight, and this occurs by drawing close to the Qibla, fixing the gaze on the place of prostration, and avoiding performing Salah in areas which are adorned with decoration, and he should not leave anything which will distract his mind near to him. For the Prophet ﷺ prayed in a decorative shawl and then removed it, saying, "Truly it distracted me from my Salah just now."
Okay, can you read this again? The remedy of this. About 4 few lines.
So the remedy...
Pay attention, everybody. You understand how you're supposed to give your khushu' in the Salah.
So the remedy for the outward distraction is cutting off whatever busies the hearing and sight. And this occurs by drawing close to the Qibla, fixing the gaze on the place of prostration, and avoiding performing Salah in areas which are adorned with decoration. And he should not leave anything which will distract his mind near to him. For the Prophet of Allah ﷺ prayed in a decorative shawl and then removed it, saying, "Truly, it distracted me from my Salah just now." Agreed upon. And if the distraction is due to internal causes, then the path of remedying it is to forcefully return the soul to reflection on what it is reciting and to busy it with that, to prepare for that before entering into Salah by finishing whatever chores are upon him and struggling to empty his heart from whatever preoccupies it, and to rejuvenate his soul with the remembrance of the hereafter and the severity of standing in front of Allah and of the terrors which are approaching. So if his thoughts are not calmed by that, then let him know that he only thinks about what is important to him and desirable. So let him leave off those desires and cut off those objects of value. And you should know that the sickness which has become deep-rooted does not benefit except from a strong medicine. And the sickness, when it's strengthened, it lures the one performing Salah, and he competes with it until the Salah passes in a state of contention. The example of this is like that of a person who is sitting under a tree and wishes to clear his mind, but the chirping of sparrows in the tree disturb him, and he has a stick in his hand by which he drives them away. So his mind does not become settled before the sparrows return, and he becomes reoccupied with them. So someone says to him, "This is something which has no end. So if you want to end the problem, then cut the tree." And such is the case with the tree of desire. When it takes root and its branches spread out, it attracts the thoughts just as sparrows are attracted to a tree and flies to filth. So the person passes his valuable time trying to drive away that which will not be driven away. And the cause of those desires which cause those thoughts in the love of this world. It was said to Amir bin Abdul Qais, "Does your soul whisper to you with anything from the affairs of this world during Salah?" He said, "That a sow be drawn through me is more beloved to me than that." Sow is a female pig, hog. "That it should be drawn through me is more beloved to me than that."
That is saying إن تختلف الأسنة في أحب إلي من أن أجد هذا. Okay, say, put a line under it, because it seems that what he says that swords and spears, you understand, can strike me is more dearer than something like this happened to me, but he's saying egg or something.
Yeah. Okay, I underlined it.
Okay. Make a question mark on this. On the bottom.
And you should know that cutting off the love of this world from the heart is a hard issue, and removing it altogether is scarcely achieved. So one should strive to do what he can of that. And Allah is the one who makes that easy, and He aids whomever He will. The third quality is exalting Allah and revering Him. And this comes to be via two things: knowing Allah's grandeur and majesty, and knowing the lowliness of the soul, and that it is subservient to Allah.
Loneliness?
Lowliness.
Oh, low. Does it mean low?
Low, yeah.
Okay.
Not lonely, lowliness of the
Okay.
soul, and that is subservient to Allah. So out of these two types of knowledge come tranquility and khushu'. And part of this is hoping in Allah, as this is on top of mere fear. And it is proper for the one performing Salah to make his heart attentive in every aspect of Salah. So when he hears the call of the Mu'azzin, he should imagine the call of the day of Qiyamah, and speed to answer the call, and reflect on how he replies and what is the state of the body with which he replies. And when he covers his aura, he should know that the aim of this is to cover up the shameful parts of his body. So he should remember the hidden aspect of his internal state and the shameful aspect of that which no one except the Creator knows and which cannot be hidden from him, and that they are expiated by regret, bashfulness, and fear. And when he faces the Qibla and he has turned his face away from every direction towards the direction of Allah's house, then turning his heart towards Allah is more important than that. So just as he cannot face the house without turning away from other than it, then similarly he cannot turn towards Allah except by turning away from other than Him. And when you make the takbir, one performing the salah, then do not let your heart belie your tongue. For if there is anything which is greater in your heart than Allah, then you have lied. So beware that false desire be greater to you, as is evidenced by your preferring it over the obedience of Allah. And when you make the isti'adah, then know that its meaning is seeking refuge with Allah. So if your heart does not seek refuge with Him, your words are just vain speech. And reflect on the meaning of what you recited, and be attentive in understanding your statement. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. All praise belongs to Allah, the Lord of the world. Surah Al-Fatiha, verse number 2. And think about His benevolence when you say Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, the most merciful, the most compassionate. Verse number 3. Malik Yawmiddin, and the grandeur when you say the master of the day of judgment. Verse number 4. And so on in the rest of your recital. And it has been narrated that Zirara ibn Abi Awfa, radiyallahu anhu, he recited, فَإِذَا نُقِرَ فِي النَّاقُرِ, and then the horn is blown into Surah Al-Mudaththir, verse number 8, and fell over dead, and it's only because he pictured that occurring, so it affected him, causing him to die. And you should sense...
But a question mark in front of this, please.
In front of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Sources. Need reference.
Okay, reference needed. Okay. Reference. And you should sense humility within yourself when you make ruku', and increase in humbleness when in sujood, as you have lowered yourself to its rightful place and returned the branch to its root by prostrating upon the earth from which you were created, and understand the words of dhikr by experience, and know that the performance of salah with these internal preconditions causes the heart to be clean of its rust and for light to occur in it, by which the magnificence of the one worshipped is glanced and his treasures are come upon. And truly, none understands except those of knowledge. And as for he who fulfills the outward aspect of salah and not its spirit, then he does not come across any of that, and rather denies its existence.
Again. And you should know.
And you should know, and you should sense humility within yourself when you make ruku, and increase in humbleness when in sujood, as you have lowered yourself to its rightful place and returned the branch to its root by prostrating upon the earth from which you were created. And understand the words of dhikr by experience, and know that the performance of salah with these internal preconditions causes the heart to be cleansed of its rust and for light to occur in it, by which the magnificence of the one worshipped is glanced and his treasures are come upon. And truly, none...
Okay, this from here, put a line here about the secrets and whatever related to it. And no one understands it other than the scholar.
So put a line under that?
Yeah. Question mark. Only half of the line.
Starting with, and truly none understand except those of knowledge, or the scholar.
Hmm?
Where do we start the underlining?
The greatness of the one that you worship.
Okay.
Okay, after this, now there is a comma?
Uh-huh.
Okay, now.
Okay, and true. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, good.
When you can experience the secrets, and no one understands this other than the scholars.
Okay. New section. Manners related to the
There is
Jummah.
no, as for the person who is standing praying without having this meaning, he did not see any of this.
Except he has here. And as for him who fulfills the outward aspect of Salah and not its spirit, then he does not come across any of that.
Okay.
And rather denies its existence.
Okay. Now a new chapter?
New chapter.
Okay, how many pages?
Okay. There's new chapter, one and a half page. Well, it's 2 pages when you put them both together. 2 pages.
Okay, we're going to stop here. Anybody have a question, comments, concern?
The word before we mentioned Al-Fatiha. It sounds like istikhara, but I'm not sure. What was it? Istihada. Right.
Isti'adha. That means saying A'udhu billahi min ash-shaytan ar-rajim, seeking refuge in Allah. He says that isti'adha, that means you seeking refuge in Allah. So if you did not turn to Allah with your heart, so what you're saying, nothing except a speech, but has no reality. So when telling you that whatever that you say in your prayer, you try to understand what you're saying, try to realize these meanings. You don't say A'udhu billahi minash shaitan rajim, but you are not really seeking refuge in Allah. You're only saying the words. So he says that a person have to understand, because some of the things that will help you in your salah, give you emulation in salah, give you the base in yourself in salah, is to understand what you're saying and to try to live the reality of what you're saying. Okay? And one of them is when you're saying A'udhu billahi minash shaitan rajim, So that means you seek refuge in Allah. Alright? And when you say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, that you remember the kindness of Allah, because you praising Him for all these gifts that He had given you. When you say Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, you remember about the greatness of Allah, Malik Yawmuddin. Okay? So for every verse that you try to really think about its meaning, because reflection on the meaning of what you're reciting will give you more humbleness in your prayer. Alright, Jazakumullah khairan. Inshallah we'll continue tomorrow. And the chapter will be concerning the adab and the discipline related to Yawm al-Jum'ah and the prayer of Jum'ah, which is the 15 issues that we know to know about it, inshallah. And after this, a small chapter concerning the optional prayer, and after this we start a new chapter or new book called the Book of Zakah, inshallah.
The book of what?
Zakah.
Zakah?
The obligatory charity. Did you mark it?
Yeah, I will mark it for the next chapter. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allah